Okay, here we are. I've uploaded some new folders up on the 360 Autodesk, and they are under the assignment instructions folder. And under here we have Navisworks Manage, and we have these 4 folders here. We've done the clash detection already last time. Here we have animations and rendering and timeliner. Today we'll look at the timeliner, and next time we'll look at these other 2 here. All right, so if I go into the timeliner, what I have used for that is basically a project that I've already, or your project basically that you've been doing in the architectural Revit. And what I did, I actually converted it to an NWC file. So it's I didn't actually open up the Revit file itself in Navisworks, but rather I converted it to a cache file, and I'm using that. But it's not no real different really if you use the Revit file. Okay, here I've got a suggested timeline of tasks as well, which I'm going to show you how to add into this particular file here. In these other 2 files here, what I have is a couple of NWF files, and this one here says house design, whatever it is, with some tasks in timeliner, and this one here is with some tasks as well as an animation ready to go. So this basically, these are the finished versions, the NWF files. What they do, they reference the NWC file in, and any additional information that these hold is basically the tasks that I've inputted in there. You'll also find these files on the L drive, and if I go to the student exercise folders here in the L drive and the timeliner, you'll see here's the suggested tasks that we're going to put in here today. They're only suggested, and only just sort of made up tasks and dates and times just to show you how it all works. You don't have to stick to exactly that. You can go your own way. You can add more, you know. And I've made it so that some tasks, as you can see here, and we'll look at it later on as well, but this is a filled-in one. In Navisworks, when you're creating basically the tasks, you can say the plan start date and the plan finish date, but then the actual one might be different. In this case, it's not. But if we look at let's look at this one here. This one here was to start on 29th of the 5th, but in fact it started a day earlier. Highly unusual, but it can happen. All right, and you can see that's got a little blue thing on the side there. Maybe you can. You can see it's starting earlier. The ones that are starting or finishing later than the planned one, like this one here, finished a day later, it gives you a little red thing at the end of it. All right, so you can easily see which ones are not going to the actual dates. So when you're running an animation, you can run it to the actual planned date, or the sorry, that's a bit wrong. You can run it to the planned date or the actual dates. All right. So anyway, we'll that's basically that. We'll refer to this as we go along to create the tasks in our blank drawing as such. All right, so let's go back to now. What we're going to do is fire up Navisworks Manage, and we're going to bring in we're going to append the NWC file, okay, and then we're going to start doing the 4D or the timeline of tasks as this says here. Then we're going to export it out to an AVI. All right, and there's some for the animation part of it. We do have a different project to look at, and I've given you some information about that as well. And that's there's a file called createananimation.pdf, and we use that. And that again should be sitting in here. Under the animation folder here. We'll use that as well later on today, and it's using these files here to do the animation. There's 2 exercises there. All right, so for now we shall go on with the timeliner, and this is the task we're going to use. All right, so let's have a look at the timeliner under here, and go to home, and we'll use the append. We've got an NWC file. We'll append that to this, And let's go to in my case, I will go to wherever S drive. That will do. Got to go to your wherever you've got the file saved, obviously. But I'm not in rendering. I want to go to Timeliner. Okay, it just goes to the last area that was at last. So let's go with now. What it's looking for is an NWF file. In fact, we want an NWC file. So you've got to change the files of type to start with. All right. So NWC, and bring that in. So that's the file we want. Open that up. All right, at this point, here's a little house there. It says it's untitled, so it won't actually get me to save it until I press save. And when I press save, it will ask me a name, and it'll be looking for an NWF file. All right, but what it's referencing, if I go to my selection tree here, it's referencing this file here, NWC, and that's got a whole lot of other information in it, like doors, windows, and that sort of thing. All right. Right, so here's our little house here. So if you haven't already done so, I recommend that you do set up your workspace like I have, and that basically requires for you to load a workspace, and I usually use the Navisworks extended. I won't click it now, but that's how I ended up getting all these little tabs over here. One of the tabs is actually the Timeliner tab, this one here, and there it is. It's got no tasks or anything at this point in there. Just before we go into that, do you have a question mark? No? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Before we go into that, okay, you stand up if you can't see it. That's fine. Or just come closer. If we've got, if I just have a look at a finished one, I'll open that up just to see what that looks like. Alright, so this is the one that we're going to start now, but then there's another one that I've done already, wherever it is. Losing it, here it is. Alright, that's it there. So if I go to the Timeliner here, we should have some tasks in here, which you do. And basically when we input all the tasks in here, we can then run an animation. Let's have a look. If I just move this across here for a minute, you can see that it's got a selection. It's called explicit. It just means that I told it what objects belong to this task manually. You could use, we'll do it later, but you can also use selection sets and search sets as well for this. Alright, so just to show you where we're ending up, we end up with that. And now what can we do with this basically once we've got that? Alright, if I just go down a bit here. Alright, now here we've got tasks. We've got sources, data sources. I'm not using that. We've got configure. All right, so you can change the colors and that sort of thing. Start, whatever else. I didn't touch those. You can simulate, so you can run the animation. So if I just go, where's my? Sorry, we're in the. Sorry, that's not the animator. Animator is different to running to the simulation here. To simulate, which is, it looks like it's animated, but it's not. What it does, it just runs through every task and works out how long it is, each task, and shows you what's going to get built when. You might have seen these sort of movies before. I just want to get the, I want to stop this for a minute. Let's play it. I'm not sure where, yes, you can't quite see it, but, well, not all of it, but it's slowly reading those dates that I put earlier in there, and it's building it as you're going along. In fact, when I did this first, I noticed that the external walls weren't built or something, and the windows were just, or the windows came in before the external wall. And I thought, oh, that's not right. So I had to go in and change the dates. I had accidentally put the wrong date in, and now it works better. So you can sort of eliminate some clashes or scheduling issues by doing that. And you can, you can slide this back as well. And you can see that the time up here tells you, so you can go back. Now, we haven't got much of a screen here, but if I go back to, if I go back to the tasks, it also shows me, if I click on there, it should show me the, where is it? Was it here? There. Click on the explicit selection, it can show you what's actually in that selection set as such. here it's got the external bricks. It's called wall brick so external. So so you can actually see what's picked up there. All right. Anyhow, that's that. Now what we're going to do is create something like this, and then as I said, all you do is just run the film and sorry, that's exporting it out. Sorry, that's another way of exporting it out, or is the only way to export it out. And I have exported this out to the viewport to AVI, and there's options in here, which I just left as it was, and I just ran it basically, and we did end up getting a file. That file is also in, I'm not sure if it's on the online one, I'll check in a minute, but it's definitely here. And if I run it, it's basically what you, it's a bit more grainy. It's basically what we saw before, but it's a good sort of visual tool. So it just shows that again. All right, I'll stop that. I'll just let it go for a minute. We'll stop that. Now, what I was going to show you is that when we go into here, which is that one, under the timeliner, timeliner, under simulate the settings, and when you first do this, the settings are not set right. So you start date is, for me it wasn't. It was like it was starting in February instead of starting in April. So I sort of changed it so it started closer to the tasks that I've already started from, which was around the 28th. So I could have come a little bit closer, but if you got nothing, it'll just be a bit of a pause initially, and there's nothing there for a few days, and then it comes up. So that you got to set those settings up. Otherwise, it's just playing the video and nothing is happening. Nothing's getting built. All right, and then you have the end date as well there. So that's basically the only thing that I really changed. And you can have it so it's actually playing the actuals, or the planned and actual, or the difference between planned and actual. So it's different settings you can set there as well. Right? I just had it on actual dates. Right. But whatever, that's the settings you can play with there, or some of the settings. All right, so let's go back to Timeliner. Actually, I'll just reduce this one here and pick up the first one, which has got nothing in it, and let's go to Timeliner. All right, so this is the procedure of adding a task. Basically, we need to go to add a task right here, and it will just do that for us. I might just leave it there though, and just begin a new session to just do that part there. Now that we've done the overview and got it out of the way, then the second part we'll just concentrate on actually doing the task. All right.